So now I'm back for part 2. We're going to start with number 18 and go on to 30. So number 18, which one is sulfur? Well, sulfur is element number 16. Chlorine is 17. Up above we had argon, it was 18. Remember 16, we had 17 and 18, chlorine and argon. So the atoms got smaller from chlorine to argon. They're getting smaller to the right. Remember the picture at the top of the page. You get smaller as you go to the right. So what we're going to do is figure out where sulfur is relative to chlorine. So sulfur is element 16. It's to the left of chlorine. So what we need to do is figure out which one is how is sulfur going to compare. Well, it's going to be bigger because they get smaller to the right. So between 16, 17, and 18, bigger, medium, smallest. So sulfur, circle D. The least electronegative elements, now remember electronegativity is the attraction for electrons in a bond. Okay, so we have two possible answers here that would work. Alkali metals, noble gases. Okay, we know that electronegativity would increase as you move to the right because, as we said up here, as you go to the right, the atoms are getting smaller, which means they're attracting electrons more. When I explained this in part 1 of this video, I mentioned that element number 10 is a noble gas. Noble gases have full outer shells and no electronegativity. So the best answer down here would be the noble gases because they have no electronegativity. However, if you said alkali metals, I took that because within a period, the general trend is they go from big to small, from small electronegativity to large electronegativity. So the least electronegative, as I asked for here, would be on the left side if you just know that trend. So I took either answer here. Best answer is noble gases because they don't have an electronegativity, but alkali metals are the biggest atoms in the row, so they have the lowest electronegativity in the row except for the noble gases. Kind of rambled on that one, so sorry about that. Bottom line, I took either answer. Noble gases is the best. Alkali metals second best. All right, largest ionization energy. Would that be a big atom or small atom? Well, it would have to be a small atom. If it's a small atom, you're going to pick the one out of this group at the smallest. So if you look at your periodic table, hydrogen is up at the top. It's the smallest one, so it's going to have the highest ionization energy because it's going to be holding its electrons tighter. 21, as one goes from left to right, what happens to electronegativity? Atoms are getting smaller, so the electronegativity is going to increase. 22, what happens to ionization energy as you go down? Well, go back to your picture. As you go down, the atoms get bigger. 3, 11, 19, they're getting bigger. So which has the lower ionization energy? The biggest one. So this answer here, the ionization energy tends to decrease as you go down. All right, this is just a definition. Horizontal row may also be referred to as a period, sometimes called a series. So periods are series. The measure of attraction that an atom has for electrons in a chemical bond, that's known as electronegativity. Once again, just a definition. As you go down, electronegativity, well, as you go down, the atoms are getting bigger. So the electronegativity will decrease because electronegativity is more when the atoms are smaller. So where are the biggest atoms? They would be where the most active metals are, the lower left-hand corner of the periodic table. If you look up here at this picture again, they get bigger as you go down, they get smaller as you go right. So the very, very biggest would be right in here, and further on down would even be bigger. (25), now I did that, 26, 27, 27. As you go left to right, since the atoms are going to get smaller, they're going to hold their electrons tighter, and the ionization energy is going to increase. The atoms get smaller. So ionization energy increases. 28, which has the smallest ionization energy. So will it be a big atom or a small atom? Small ionization energy. Here's a big atom. So the biggest atom of these guys would be the one, these are all horizontal. So here's 3, 5, 7, 10. The one furthest left is the biggest, so that'd be lithium. And the higher first ionization energy, if you look at the periodic table, you notice that groups 1, 17, 18, and 16, here's 17 and 18 over here. So which has a higher ionization energy? Which one of these families holds its electrons the tightest? It's most difficult to remove one from them would be the last column. That's group 18. 30, given the representation of chlorine, which is fluorine, so if you look at the periodic table, fluorine is higher than chlorine, so fluorine would be smaller than chlorine. Okay, so the smaller atom, fluorine, would be represented by, that wasn't where I wanted it to be, would be represented by letter B here, which is a smaller atom. So we'll go back to circle B. And that was the last question. So retakes will be in class on, if you're an A-day student, it'll be on Tuesday. If you're a B-day student, it'll be on Wednesday. So have a good weekend. I'm looking for more than 2 views on this. Thanks. Bye.